What is a funnel in business? Traditionally, it's associated with sales, marketing, and conversions. We'll go through and we'll talk through exactly what it looks like. As entrepreneurs and business owners, we know that if we have a clear plan, anything becomes possible. And if you can have a clear plan, a clear process to create that plan, and a way to create clarity with your partner or spouse, you can drive to amazing heights. All right, so if you look up online, what is a funnel in business? It's almost always associated with the sales process. There can be other versions of a funnel in business. This can be in the actual supply chain and a variety of different places, but wide majority of it is almost always going to be around sales. And if you look it up online, there's 100 different ways to look at it. The one that I like the most, it goes through and it discusses the idea of awareness, consideration, conversion, and retention. I put a couple extra spins on there and I look at it in a little different way. But if you think about it, the funnel starts and it narrows down into something small. Well, the something small at the very end is somebody who's been converted and retained. That's the ultimate goal. So to start with, and traditionally in a funnel, we're going to create awareness. How you create awareness of your product or service, that's where people get to start hearing about you. Now, this can be as big as Mountain Dew on a Super Bowl ad, getting people to think about Mountain Dew. Or it could be as small as, maybe being on a podcast or doing an interview or this is your general marketing components. But this is creating the awareness of your product or service of what's out there. That's the first step. Now, the second step is getting them, so we get people who are interested. Usually once they've engaged, meaning they've reached out in some way, shape, or form, or you've had the opportunity to talk to them. Let's say we've created, they've reached out on a Google ad and they're interested, they're considering you. Well, it's then in that consideration phase, this is where what your website looks like, and you're very, very clear on what is the problem you're solving, who you're solving it for, and what success looks like for them. That's going to start to help them. Now, this is an area, and we've got a lot of videos all on the Aspiring Solopreneur channel, as well as we talk a lot about this in the book and on the courses, is most people want to tell us all about the features and benefits when it comes to marketing and around that consideration component. And most people don't care about the features and benefits. They want to know, what are the outcomes you're providing? What are the services? What does success look like for them when they're done with it? And then once they start asking the questions, then you can help them understand what the product or services are. But it's through that consideration phase. They've created awareness. Now we're like, well, we're considering you. Okay, these are the outcomes we're providing. Start there so that these are the outcomes. This is what amazing is going to look like for you when we're working or engaged together, or you have this product or service. And then then you can start to go through and say, this is how we walk through the process. Keep it as simple as you possibly can. And then what is the process you go through to help convert them? So as you go through from a conversion phase, these are people that you've actually engaged, and they've actually chosen to engage with you, buy your product or service. Now remember, you can be tracking metrics on every one of these pieces. How many people did we have awareness? This is marketing companies, that's their number. Oh, we had 800,000 impressions. That means people could have potentially seen you 800,000 times. Okay, great. Of that, how many people actually did we get that put us into consideration, meaning how many people clicked on that and went to our website? Well, of those 800,000, we got 80. Okay, great. We're tracking that. Now, of those 80, how many of those people actually pulled the trigger and converted and actually gave us a credit card and moved forward? So 800,000 to 80 to 8 converted, wonderful. And then the retention, how many of those people did we keep? How many of those people did we keep? And ideally, it depends on your product service. You may have a one-off where we just had one and there's not a heavy retention piece. But there could be, if it's a reoccurring revenue model, yeah, we want to keep people for at least 12 months. Yeah, but we're only retaining people for 3 months. We've got a hole. That means we have a hole in our funnel someplace. So this is where once you start understanding what the funnel is, then we can start making all sorts of tweaks. So how are we changing and making some adjustments to that awareness that suddenly, so instead of we have 800,000 people are aware of it, but we were able to get, instead of 80 converting, 160 to convert. And of those 160 that converted, well, we still only got 16 that we, or 160 that considered us, came and clicked to the website. And then of those people who were on the website, we were able to get 160. Well, maybe we can make another tweak from the awareness to the consideration to the conversion. And of those conversions, instead of 8, and then we had 160, we'd go to 16. Who knows? Maybe we make some adjustments in how we're using our messaging and tools in there. Different colors, images, who knows what it is. And suddenly we're at 20 or 30 people that we're actually fully converting. And then once we're there, we're adjusting how we do our product or service, and we're retaining them from instead of 3 months to 6 months or 12 months or 9 months. But when you start doing this, once you start managing your funnel, then you're just adjusting levers and dials and figuring out what works better. It's going to help you increase maximize your ad spend that you're getting to drive the actual conversions all the way through. Now, the area that I think most people forget about in the funnel that has, in my opinion, is the best value that you have is not only the retention, but also referrals. If you can start tracking and looking at referrals, because referrals is a way that we have a social proof of the awareness. Sometimes those referrals will actually help increase the consideration, and they may even help convert all the way through. So if you can help focus on the fifth one, so if we have awareness, consideration, conversions, and retention, but then on top of it add referrals, and see, is there a way that you can be incentivizing referrals in a positive way to drive even more people back into that funnel? It's going to help you expand and improve your net productivity with it. So ideally, that helps clarify what a funnel in business is. If you have questions, you're welcome to reach out. And as always, please consider checking out our courses if you're interested in a book. And I very much appreciate you investing the time and energy. Keep smiling.